Portia DeRossi is one of Australia's great success stories. We first got to know her when she frolicked with Hugh Grant in the film Sirens.
They're very common. I can't help it.
A cameo role in Scream 2 meant she had landed in Hollywood. But it wasn't until she landed her role as Nell Porter in the hugely successful series Ally McBeal that we saw her truly shine.
She's smart and she's pretty, Georgia. What else do we need to know?
Her star continued to rise, with the world hanging on every episode of her next hit, Arrested Development, and more recently, Better of Ted. Please welcome to the circle the fabulous Portia DeRossi. And Portia DeRossi joins us now from Los Angeles. Portia, we're so excited to speak to you, and firstly, congratulations on your book. Unbearable Lightness is the title. We've all read it and loved it. It is an extremely honest and harrowing account of your lifelong battle with anorexia and bulimia. Portia, what made you decide to pen your story?
Well, I think that ever since meeting Ellen, I've kind of started living my life more honestly and openly, and I just hated the thought of having a very kind of dark part of my past that I didn't want anyone to know about or talk about. So I thought the best way for me to deal with it would be to go back and revisit and kind of go through it and write about it, so hopefully someone else won't follow the same path that I went down.
Portia, just to paint a picture for our viewers, at one stage you weighed 37 kilograms. Now, when you were that thin, what did you see when you looked in the mirror?
Well, I know that there's that kind of classic image of the anorexic looking into a mirror and seeing a very heavy person reflected back. I never saw that. I saw that I was underweight, that my arms looked kind of emaciated, but my eye just went straight to the problem areas. I mean, I still saw that inch of fat on my thighs and the inch of fat on my stomach that no matter how thin I got, I could never quite get rid of. And so I knew that I was underweight. I just thought that I was still very flawed.
You seem to learn a lot of your issues with food from your mum. Did that relationship affect your own attitude towards food?
You know, I have to say, my mom was like every other mom back in the 70s and 80s. She thought that the best way to lose weight was to diet, and she just taught me a few of her dieting tricks just to get some weight off quickly so I could go do a modeling job. What she didn't know was that I was really restricting, really starving myself, and she didn't know about the purging. So, you know, it's funny. She's learned a lot now after reading the book, and she was so great and so sympathetic. I just wished that I had talked to her sooner, and I think she would have been a really wonderful help to me when I was struggling. But I certainly can't say that because of her I suffered with the eating disorders, because it really wasn't.
When she read the book, Portia, was it all news to her, or did she have a vague idea what was going on?
Well, she knew that I was restricting, she knew I was dieting, and she knew that after I would finish a modeling job that I would overeat. But she didn't realize that after I overate, I went into the bathroom and purged. So she knew that I was always struggling. You know, I was a model when I was from about 12 years old onwards. And I was thin, but I was never really model thin, and I had to diet. I had to diet to stay in work and to be professional. And so she saw me kind of on this yo-yo cycle of dieting, doing a job, finishing the job, and then binging afterward and gaining the weight back.
Now, Portia, in your book you talk a lot about your inability to come forward with your sexuality. How much of your battle with your self-image and your body do you think was linked to you suppressing who you really were sexually?
Well, you know, it's never great when you have secrets of any kind, but when I felt that who I really was so unacceptable, especially in my industry, I felt very, very insecure, and I knew that at any moment, if I was discovered as gay, I knew that my career would be over, and that was terrifying. It was terrifying because I just started my career, and I wanted to act, and I loved my job, so I didn't want anyone to know I was gay. However, it certainly amplified my eating disorder, but I already had an eating disorder prior to starting Ally McBeal and prior to being the subject of tabloid stories.
Portia, do you think there's any truth in that still about being gay and being open about it, that it has affected your career and the roles that you can get?
I don't know. You know, I mean, I think that my favorite role so far has been on Better Off Ted. I did a show last year, which I loved, and I was hired, and I was openly gay and married to Ellen, and I played a heterosexual character, and it didn't seem to affect it at all. But you know, I'll never really know if I'm not getting roles because I'm gay. But I have to say that just by being honest and open, I feel like at least I'm representing myself now as who I really am and not who I'm trying to be. So I think that just that alone makes me a better actress. So who knows?
I think it's absolutely wonderful, the fact that you've been able to be honest, and because of Ellen. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of all the people that you've gone through the battles of doing all this with Ellen and had to be the first to do it, and you've made it easier for so many other people. And I can see that inner beauty in you that Ellen radiates. So we want to, on behalf of us, say thank you to Ellen for getting you through this and making you a totally honest person.
Oh, look, I'm tearing up. You're making me cry. Be a satellite. How does that happen?
But it's wonderful.
You know, it is. It is really great because, you know, I didn't know how to be a celebrity. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and so I thought that I had to kind of create this character in order to keep my job, and I was just so afraid of actually being who I am. So it did take a long time, and you know, Ellen is definitely an example of somebody who is very genuine and who is really her authentic self at all times, and it's rubbed off on me, and
Portia,
it's a good thing.
You have dedicated the book to Ellen for showing you what beauty is. I believe the dedication is in the front of the book, which is beautiful. We love Ellen and we love you here in Australia. When she finished the book, were you a little bit afraid of how she would perceive you, because it was so secretive and you were so honest in it?
Well, I actually read passages to her as I was writing them, and I was terrified. I would read something that was, because you know, it's a very very vulnerable, very honest portrayal of what it was like to suffer with self-esteem, really. And you know, that's not exactly what you want to talk about with the person that you love. So I was a little bit concerned, but she immediately reassured me, and she never ever saw the weakness. She only saw the strength of overcoming it. And it seemed like the darker and the more insecure I was, the more she admired me, really, for having the strength to come from such a low point to being who the person that she knows today. So it actually encouraged me to kind of get in there and get all that out and be really truly honest, because there was no point in writing it unless I was going to be 100% honest.
Well, it certainly is honest, Portia, and it is a beautiful read. We congratulate you on your book. And although Ellen has, as you said, supported you, you are supporting so many people. I think lots of young girls particularly, we're going to get a lot from your book. Please thank Portia DeRossi.